The following presentation is for mature audiences only.
Who are you?
He's a fine man.
All hell is broken loose.
He's a great broadcaster.
He's a very powerful guy. Absolutely brilliant.
Feared by men, adored by women.
He's a smart boy.
It's patriotic.
It's no big deal.
It's the end of the world.
I might as well tell you now. He's a monkey.
And how you doing, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages? Welcome in to another edition of The Wild Side with Eric Clark. I am Eric Clark, your host, saying thank you for taking time out of your day to give this a watch and a listen. If you like it, throw it a like. If you think someone else is going to like it, make their day and give it a share. Make sure you're subscribed to the YouTube channel. That way, if you have a song you want me to check out, a video you want me to see, a band you want me to react to, or give a breakdown of, you can leave the suggestion below. But I do implore you, please go through the comment section and take a look and see, has anyone else suggested my song? If they have, do me a favor. Join in on the fun and slap an I concur on there. And I am really enjoying everyone playing the game. This is real fun. It really is. I thought going into it I was going to get a different type of a reaction, but you guys are absolutely awesome. As I always say, you give respect, you get respect, and that's how we should be dealing with each other in the comment section. I don't do this to say any one band is better than another, so let's just not have these conversations. I'm here to enjoy and explore new music I'm not familiar with. I've spent 30 years in radio as a programmer, music director, on-air personality, production director, imaging director. I even dressed as a fox, as a mascot for one of my stations, and did everything from jump out of an airplane to stage dive at concerts, dressed as a fox. So yes, I wanted to be in radio that bad. Also, link up with me on social media, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. That way you have a direct conduit to me of information. But again, try not to overwhelm me with everything. So it's, like I said, I've got my notebook, my handy-dandy notebook, and my Sharpie. I'm trying to write everything down, and I'm trying to respect everybody's suggestions by getting to them as expeditiously as I can. Before we get started today, I do want to say thank you to Aspen Dental. And I want to thank Connect 200. They make sure that The Wild Side with Eric Clark is coming to you with a bright smile and good video quality. So thank you to Aspen Dental and Connect 200. They are the machines that power The Wild Side with Eric Clark. Now, let's get to today's video. Today's video is a, if you thought that was good, you need to check this out suggestion. When I was doing the reaction to a previous Nightwish video, Romanticide, I spoke about the drummer Yuka, I believe is his name. Yes, Yuka. Again, I'm struggling with pronunciations, but I'm thanking all of you for being so patient with me and helping me along the way and not pushing me out of a subway car because I can't say something correctly. So I appreciate that. So the drummer from the previous video, Romanticide, I commented about how it's an embodiment of sound, of how this gentleman has the ability, one of the top 5 drummers recently I've seen, had the ability to really encapsulate the energy that he was promoting through his sound, through his body. You could see that there was a connection between the skins and the flesh. So I was very impressed by that, spoke of that at length in that video. While I am impressed with the band Tuomas and Marco and everybody that's in the band, especially Floor Jansson's vocals, I'm very impressed by all of it. But in that particular video, it was live at Wacken, and she'd only been with the band for about 10 months. And I want to clarify something about this real quick. When you say that she had been with the band for about 10 months, I'm going to tell you right now, that's like 2 days. In the cycle of how this is operating, how, again, people are telling me to watch this documentary about 48 hours to learn the set list. So even after 10 months, her ability to do that is absolutely fascinating. So it's something to be admired without a doubt. But when you tell me, oh, well, she'd already been with the band for 10 months, that doesn't tell me anything. It really doesn't. I've spoken with people about performing on the reg, and how you can do five nights a week. I used to do stand-up comedy, so we would talk about, by the 4th day, by the 5th day, you should be into a groove, but you're still not. Because every time you go out there, it starts, the bubble guts begin. So it's still something that any performer would have to deal with. Not struggle, but deal with. So I congratulated her completely on being able to do that. And to me, it is impressive. Even 10 months, it's not these guys have been playing together for years, man. And she's literally just stepping in. So I give her all the credit in the world. And by the time we get to here, this video we're doing today, she had been with the band for quite a while. But because of my comments about Yuka, the drummer, and Romanticide, the comments came, oh, dude, guys, you thought that was good and you checked this out. No, you need this one over here. So after compiling all of the comments and sifting through all of the geography and linguistics lessons, I landed on today's video, which is Nightwish Week Fantasy, live at Tampere. I hope I say that correctly, Tampere, 2016, I believe. And this one features Kai, the drummer that replaced Yuka, and another gentleman named Troy. Because again, in the other video comment section, I made a comment in the video of, these are the best 5 musicians currently on the planet playing together. And everybody brought up, oh, you haven't met the 6th one yet. So today I will be meeting the gentleman who stepped in for Yuka when Yuka stepped away. And I believe he's still dealing with band management or something. And Kai replaced him. And Troy is his name. He plays in this band as well, I've been told. So I haven't seen him. So today we're going to react to Nightwish Week Fantasy, live Tampere 2016. Let's check it out. And I hope I fixed the video for the subtitles. I really hope I did. Thank you for helping me with that, by the way. The last video, I had it kind of cut off because there was writing on the screen, and everybody started hammering me. Look, I'm old. I just started doing this. I'm not familiar with some settings and some graphics and things like that, so I hope I got it figured out. I had to ask young people how to do it. So let's check it out. Sorry.
A storytelling breed we are. These stories given to us are filled with suffering, slavery, and the selfhood of a condescending ape. Every child is worth a better tale.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. Heavy. Heavy.
Stories given to us all are filled with
something else, man.
sacrifice and ropes of lust, dissonant choirs and downcast eyes, selfhood of a condescending ape. Behold the crown of a heavenly spire, forged in blood of those who defy. Kiss the ring, praise and sing. He loves your dwelling in fear and sin. Fear is a choice you embrace. God only true.
Fucking heavy, dude. I'm sorry.
Time of poetry.
Wow, that is heavy.
Witchcraft still in your voice. Lost from fantasy. Democracy. Every child worthy of a better tale. Pure author from a cracked fantasy, filled with suffering
Dude. Stop it. Is that like a Dutch version of a mandolin? Bouzouki? Fucking heavy, man. This is a heavy track right here. Wow. Come on, man. Yes. Dude. All right, so there you go. Nightwish, Weak Fantasy, live, Tampere. I'm sweating like a reggae band in Alabama. I am just sweating. That was okay. Again, I need a second. I need a second to unpack everything here because once again, it gets elevated. They're elevating for me anyway. Let's talk basics. Let me just go with something basic here. If I were programming an active rock radio station today, I know that's from 2016. If I were programming a rock station today, I would blow out one of our core artists, and that would be in regular rotation. That song would be regularly played on my radio station, without a doubt. Absolutely, 100% without a doubt. I wouldn't even question their origin, their language, nothing. Nothing. That is one of the best active rock songs I've heard in 20 years. That is a fantastic song. Now let's talk about why that is. So everybody was telling me that Kai and Yuka are equally as great as they are different. And I saw that. I saw Neil Peart as opposed to Ginger Baker. I really hope that makes sense. What I saw was a one, whereas Yuka is in. Stay with me here in my mind, please. Yuka in my mind were the three men hammering in the tent peg. Dun, 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 the three guys just hammering these 16-pound sledgehammers into this tent peg. That GIF that you see. Whereas what I saw with Kai was more of a pneumatic hammer. It was machinery. It was, but it wasn't clinical in the sense of not impactful. it was clinically devastating. That was pneumatic in its hammering, because it was hammering. Even the fills, he was hammering. It's like killing them softly, right? It's like this. It's a gentle hammering, but I love those drums, man. That was an intense 6 minutes. That was an incredibly intense 6 minutes coming from that drum platform. Now let's talk about that bass line, that driving, droning, doom-filled. Like, bro, I want to come take your shit after that, man. Like that's the only real vibe I was getting, was like, I gotta go take somebody's stuff. Because, I'm an American, so that's how we think. But it's like, I got to go invade somebody with that playing. Like, that's the Ride of the Valkyries level of inspirational motivation, of drive, because that's what it's speaking to. It's speaking, the drum and the bass line speak to that Precambrian bass part of you that is in your drive. It drives you out of the cave to go kill the mastodon. That's what's playing in your head when you're fighting a saber-toothed tiger, right? Like, that's what you want to pump people up with before leaving the cave to go get your kill, without a doubt. That is primal right there, but operatic in its primitive source of what you're feeling. And again, Tuomas, I mean, I'm glad he didn't go Broadway. I'm glad he didn't go Broadway. I'm glad he went this way. I really am, because I'm not a fan of Broadway. I'm really not. I have this joke where I say I hate when I'm watching a movie and people break out into song. Like, I'm not a fan of musicals. Even Blazing Saddles, I'm not a fan of it. So I'm not a fan of the musical genre. I appreciate Andrew Lloyd Webber and composers of that ilk, but I'm not a fan of the music as a listener. This dude's compositions, man, are deeply genius. So when I'm hearing his music, I automatically start thinking of, okay, that has the epicness, that has the progression of modern rock of the late 80s, early 90s, like a Dream Theater or a Queensryche. And I was just talking to somebody about Operation Mindcrime. When you're thinking about, this is not a song. I have to start getting away from, hey, this is a great metal tune, or no. This is just a great rock song. This is a beautiful 6-minute rock song. I wrote down, it's a heavier gallows pole. That's what that was for me. That was a heavier gallows pole. Because gallows pole is a very deep and a very well-crafted piece of music. Taken in its entirety, it is a beautiful piece of music that also tells a great story. And that's what makes this song so great, in part, is that it follows that mantra of, hey man, if you're going to have music this good, make sure you've got a story to go along with it. There's nothing people hate worse than great lyrics and bad music, or great music and bad lyrics. Limp Bizkit, right? You got a great guitar player in Limp Bizkit. So it's kind of a fight of artistic integrity almost. But what I'm noticing with Tuomas is his craftsmanship of audio blending of spectrum colors is like, when I hear, people are going to hate me for this because it's not a comparison, but in a way it is. When you think of something as being perfect, it's not perfect. There's nothing is perfect, but it's as close to perfect as you're going to get. And his ability to weave musical and lyrical spectrum colors for me is as close to perfect as I've heard since maybe Division Bell or Tool's 10,000 Days. That's really because these are steeped in deep emotional connections, and the ability to translate that for universality takes a genius that is very rare. in rock and roll, let alone music itself. So I'm glad Tuomas has decided to write epic metal tunes because, again, bro, I just want to go take over some stuff, man. Like, I just want to come pillage. I just it's getting, it's a great driving tune. And Kai, the drummer, is just, again, he's a pneumatic hammer. He's, the Neil Peart to the Ginger Baker, the wildness of Yucca juxtaposed to the control, the composure of the physical body of Kai. Yet they're both, are they working two different sets of drums, like two different brands of drums? Because there is a distinct sound, but not. Okay, they're able to create their individual uniqueness within their sound, but they're maintaining the tone of the overall composition that Tuomas has laid out for everybody. Whew. I hope that works. Now let's go to Troy and what I think is a Dutch mandolin, the Bouzukai. I hope I'm saying that right. I'm sure you guys will let me know if I'm not, which I thank you for. But that is, again, when you hear, being in Nashville, Tennessee, there are quite a few very prestigious mandolin players here, and they are seen as unicorns. If somebody needs a mandolin player, there might be a handful of cats that can roll into Studio B and lay something down, and understand what you're doing. A great example of that level of musicianship is the cats who travel with Dwight Yoakam. I can't remember their name, the backing band for Dwight Yoakam when he did a tour a few years ago, and they may still be with him, I don't know, but there's a backing band for Dwight Yoakam, and the mandolin player for them is otherworldly. That dude is right there. That is a guy who, if in Nashville, his phone wouldn't stop ringing. That sound that he's creating, it's a universal sound, but it's not. I'm sure he would be able to play country music because that is folk. That is obviously Dutch folk music that they have woven into the fabric of that sound so that it's not an anathema to what's happening. So when you hear him break in with that song, it's not contrasting in any way in my color spectrum. So it fit right in there. It was a part of those colors going into the bright light. So when the overall bright light is in my head of the energy of the song, of the energy of the band, and the energy of the crowd's relationship, all of those colors need to flow. And his ability to do that with a folk instrument at that, again, in that song, I'm sure that guy Troy can make anybody's song better. Okay, I'm sure he can. But for him to do that in that particular band with that particular type of construction shows, A, he's brilliant. B, they trust him 100% and they're all in that pocket with him. The camaraderie that I see on these cats with every video I see and every live show I see them in, the camaraderie is just pouring through them and it's just absolutely captivating. And you can tell that they really enjoy these moments, the beats, the rhythms, the notes that they're playing. They're each enjoying each other's process, and that's so important. You hate to watch a band that is a good band that you see up there being clinical and they're going through the steps. A great example of that is the Kinks. They're a great band, and when you back in the day anyway, in the 70s and 80s, you would go see a Kinks show, and you couldn't really enjoy the show because they're brothers. If my brother and I were on a stage together, we would fight. We can't play the same foursome of golf together. He has to tee off at a whole other time than I do. We can't even be around each other when it comes to competition, when it comes to stuff like that. So the ability, and they are brothers, so the ability for these cats to just dance with each other and create that flow is something to be admired. So yeah, these are the six best, sexiest, no, I almost said it. These are the six best musicians like in the world in one band, man. It's just absolutely incredible. And speaking, now let's get down to Floor Jansen and get to her. 3 times in that song, the hair on my arm stood up. That woman, bro, do you know how many ships she would wreck? Like she is both the reason you wreck your ship on the rocks. She's the Scylla and Charybdis, man. That is a monster of a presence, vocally speaking, the ability to speak to the child and tell the child the story, and then be able to also go into the heavier, more darker parts of that vocally and still maintain a sound of security with her. That's something that I don't think people know that they're feeling when it comes to some singers, that the singer will provide you with a blanket of security, your Linus blanket that you can hold on to. My son had one, we called it a whoopee. So it gives you that feeling of security that there's no danger here for you. You feel she does infantilize you in a way, in that when you hear her voice, it brings, when Floor Jansen sings, it takes you to a place that is so comfortable and so safe that the only time you remember it is when you were a child. So it brings you to this sweet, this comforting, warm place that you know you miss, and then it creates this nostalgia within you. And then the nostalgia is shaken by the growth of the darkness, and then it allows you to travel through your own life while still feeling like there's a presence there that's keeping you safe. So it's just incredible the way that she does that. And yo, bro, again, that her presence, dude, is just as big as that song. I mean, that her command of those people, her command of the moment is absolutely unique. She's a unicorn without it. The band is. I'm going to stop asking if it gets better, and I'm just going to bet that it does. I'm going to get tired of it, aren't I? So, yeah, that was good. That was Weak Fantasy kicking. I don't know which. I think that was kicking off their set at Tampere in 2015, 2016, somewhere around there. I'd have to look back at it again. Let me make sure. Anyway, somewhere around there. So that was a good suggestion. Thank you very much for suggesting it. I hope I did the band justice, because again, I'm still blown away by that, dude. That was a great track. I'm sweating like my sister in church. I have two sisters. I let them argue about who I'm talking about. So again, thank you very much for the suggestion. If you do have a suggestion for a song or a band or a video you want me to check out, leave it below in the comments section. But just remember to try to go through and make sure that you're not just hammering me with redundancy. I love the I concur. This is going to be a thing. If I ever get shirts, should I get shirts that just say I concur? Is that, if we ever do like merchandise for this channel, should it just be I concur? So thank you very much for that. I really appreciate it. It does help me compile everything easier, and then I can go through and make better selections, and that way I'm entertaining you guys, and I'm learning too, and I'm finding these great tunes that are definitely going to be in my car. Can you give me one good reason why you're doing 130 miles an hour? Just turn this song up. Sorry, dude. But I was listening to this song from this band. So that's one of my, it's excused to get a ticket song, like Jesus Built My Hot Rod by Ministry, or Radar Love by Golden Earring. Now we have Nightwish and Weak Fantasy live at Tampere. So yeah, sorry officer, but I was jamming out to the greatest band in the world right now. They're really good, man. It's really not fair. So thank you, everybody. Again, if you're going to be commenting, if you're going to be getting involved in the comment section, if you give respect, you get respect. Let's not live up to the stereotypes that come along with the rock and roll, particularly heavy metal audience. Let's eschew those stereotypes and prove Tipper Gore wrong. Let's do that. Also, make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Get your notifications when I drop a new steamy one. You can also follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram if you want a more direct line to me of communication. I want to thank Aspen Dental and Connect 200. They're the two powers that make the Wild Side with Eric Clark go. I say it all the time, and I mean it every time. Make sure you're looking out for each other. Make sure you're looking out for your neighbor. Try to do at least one good thing a day. I'm Eric Clark, and this has been The Wild Side.